In the last video, we saw that we can use this process called elimination to get rid of one of the letters, and it makes it easy to solve it. Now, what about a question like this, though? What are we going to do here? Because if we subtract two equations, it's actually not going to help. I'll just show you what happens just in case. So 3x minus x, you'll get 2x. 2y minus 2y, that will become a plus 2y plus 2y, because two negatives makes a positive. So that will be plus 4y, and then 7 minus 5 is 2. Now you can see it hasn't helped us because all we've done is generated another equation which is complicated because it has x and y in it. What we're going to do next. So subtracting these two equations obviously didn't help because one of the variables didn't disappear. But is there something that we can do to the two equations so that one of the variables disappears or goes to 0? Yeah, what we can do is we can add the two equations together this time. So, because look what happens when we add the two equations together. 3x plus x, that's 4x. Now, 2y and minus 2y, what does that give you? Well, 2y minus 2y is basically 0, isn't it? So, basically, when we add these two things together, the y will disappear. It'll just become 0. And then we've got on the right-hand side, we've got 7 plus 5 is 12. Because we've made a new equation which only has one variable, then it's easy to solve because obviously x is 12 divided by 4, so x is equal to 3. We still need to work out the value of y, so just choose one of the equations. I think I'll choose the top one this time. So 3x plus 2y is equal to 7, but we know now that x is 3. So 3 times 3, that's actually 9, plus 2y equals 7. So 2y equals, well, 7 take away 9 is minus 2. So that's telling me that actually y is equal to minus 1. Now we can check that, see if it works. X is 3 and y is minus 1. Well, it definitely works on the top one. And on the second one we get 3, and this will be minus 2 times minus 1, which is plus 2. So 3 plus 2 is 5. So it does actually work. So the idea is that if you have the same number in front of one of the variables, but one is positive and one is negative, you need to add, and then it'll kind of cancel out. So let's try this one. Again, we can see that subtracting is not going to help. But we have the same number, 3 and 3y, but one is minus and one is plus. So if the signs are different, you can add them together and they will cancel out. So 2x and x is 3x. And a minus 3y and a plus 3y will cancel when you add them. So that's 0. And then on the right hand side, 7 plus 8 is 15. So I think you can see that x has to be 5, doesn't it? 3 times 5 is 15, or 15 divided by 3. So that tells us that x is equal to 5. Then choose one of the equations. I'm going to choose the second one because there's no negatives in it. So we have x plus 3y has to be equal to 8. But we now know that the x is 5. So 5 plus 3y has to be 8. 8 minus 5. Take the 5 to the other side. That's 3. So you can see that y is going to have to be equal to 1. So the solution is 5 and 1. And if you check it, you can see it fits both of the equations. So the extra thing we've learned today is that basically, from what we learned last lesson, we knew that if the signs are the same, you subtract. Okay, so you have the same number. But you either have a plus and a plus or a minus and a minus, then you subtract and it will disappear. But if the signs are different, then you need to add and they'll also cancel out.